initial fill. And funny, the radius on that is just about the right size. So I think I'll be chopping a chunk off that. Meanwhile, I've usually used that wedge. I think it's this one. Yeah, nice round edge. Right, I'm going to wash my hands and start soldering. Right, I'm just going to solder these. So let's trim that back a little bit. Thin came off the end. I might stick a little bit of silicone behind that just to stick that on. Well, same on these, trim that back of 1/2 inch. Flux on there. Just using electrician's flux rather than the steel stuff I usually use. Little dot. Once you've got the wire hot enough, you should see it flow around the solder. Should do for that. And then wipe off the excess flux. Yeah, looks a good one. Hopefully this will slide over and fit, be the right size. Oh yes. Come on, you bugger, get in. Oh, I should have bought some bigger stuff, a little bit bigger. Let's squash it there a bit. Oh, it's just the right size, aren't they? There you go. And I'm just going to warm that up. Do for that one. Just to get us strands of copper. I'm putting these little bits of wire on just because I'm on my tod and I can't hold the wires as well as solder them. Yeah. Yeah, I just splay them together a bit. And then I'll do the soldering again. Might need a little bit blobble there. Looks good. Small bit off there. Might just. Can't get that bit there. Just that hair of a wire. Stop that going over. I bet it does. Well, bloody hell. Got the bigger size shrink. That's it. Right, I'm going to fire it up and let's see if I'm making electricity. Fingers crossed. I'm going to go up there. Right, see if she fires up and gives us some electricity. Right, ignition on. What's that dropping? That's off. That's on. Petrol, bit of a tickle. Let's see what happens. Oops. Right, I just put my lights on. Lights on now. Right, lights off. Ignition off. Charging system works a treat. Just check the clutch out now. Yeah, I've got 13 volts. Right. That clutch is nice to pull now. where it goes in, so quite pleased with that. Need to run it now. So that seems successful. Alternator successful, so pleased. We mess about with a bit of tidying up in here now. Just clip that onto there. Much of that wire up there as I can. Put my side panels and what have you back on. Great. Right, cheers. It worked. Right, I've neatened my wires up. Put the alternator wire across here. Then cable tied it to my breather pipe. And then up here. And then up here I've had a bit of a tidy up. Just with a few wires really, just shortened them. That's my earth block. It's just a chocolate block. All of this side's bridged up. And then I've got earths from my backlight and other places on the bike, and I just plug them into here. So that's in there tidied up. Right, we'll go and have a look at the bits. Right, here's the clutch. I've put a few plates in so we can see what the wear's like in it. And I've just set it up in the vise. I've clamped the hub in the vise. So we might have to go a bit closer to see all this. First thing I'm looking in is at the hub and the cush drive is the amount of wear on the splines here. See if I can get a bit closer. Right, so I'm looking in here. Now we can see the amount of play on there. The hub's staying still and the amount of wear is on them splines in there, which you can see. Quite dramatic. I've had worse. Now when they wear like that, you can actually stop this sliding off. They key themselves on actually. So I'm just going to pull back again. Take the plates out. Right, the way I get them off the bike, these are just a couple of magnets. Zoobs I think they're called. Just clamp loads together so you've got a decent magnet. I'm just going to use the nuts off the springs and clog them on. Hopefully you keep them out the middle and sticking everywhere else, and you can lift the plates out one at a time. It's easy when the bike's upright. You get the general idea with that. Right, tangs. Now these tangs should be a reasonable fit in these slots here. And if you see on the plain plates, these tangs are in a lot better condition than the frictions, half the size. So I'm going to put that in there. You can see how much play is in the plate. Now when you've got plates like this, it's stuff like this what makes the clutch clunk. That's the friction. Now you can dress these up a bit, but these have been dressed. Now I usually hammer them flat and then dress them, rather than file it all off. That's obviously, it's a nicer fit in there, and there's hardly any play on the cush drive. So plates are alright. Right, just lift the plates out. Just to get them out of the way. Now I've cleaned all the grease and things out of here so we can see. Just pop that back on. Now if it's that way, I can't pull that off. It won't pull off. But if I just turn it back a touch, it'll slide off. and that's because of in here on these splines, I don't know whether we can see, they end up L-shaped. I've got another one somewhere where it's really bad. Hang on, I'll just see if I can dig it out. Yeah, here's the other one. And can we see them any better? Now this one was ridiculous. It's worn nearly half of it away. I'll just slide that on there and see what happens. It's not the hub I took off this. I can't find the hub. What came out there? It won't even go on. Won't even go on. So forget about that comparison. But hopefully we can see the damage in here. And it's worn all the thrust face off that side. That side. Yep. That's the one I took off. It's not too bad, but it's started. Right. I'll just zoom in a bit closer again. Right. You see that? Then on the rollers, obviously. Now, watch this. Now, you don't need micrometers to show you this space. Now, this clutch, it was a bit noisy, but it worked. So you don't need any micrometers for stuff like this. It's all visual. A new set of rollers wouldn't do that because the basket's far too worn as well. And I can see around the edge here, it's chipping. It's starting to chip. So right, that's the basket. You can see how bad that is. That side's not so bad. Thrust washer. It's only making contact on one side by the look. But it fit on. So one well knackered. Rollers all the wrong size. Now we can see on here how my hub's worn. Should be nice and square. And they're not at the end of the day. Now if I plug that back into there, we can see how much play I've got on that. And this is all down, makes clunks and all sorts of noises. Right. Now the wear on here isn't too bad. Again, is that one? Yeah, again that one's not too bad. Now these early hubs have a shoulder on the back. Now the friction plate will go over, but obviously that one won't. If I put that one on, it would stay stuck on the bottom. That's why you start off with a friction first, and then that takes up that space. Right. I'm a bit close. Right, now with them rattling back and forth, like said, causes these wear patterns. Now when they get too bad, you can file them, but again you'll end up with a noisy clutch. These type of tricks are bodging. It's nice to have new stuff, but if you're like me, you can't afford it all the time, so you've got to make do. That's not bad. So now we'll have a look at the basket. And we can see in here, again, maybe,